Good morning. I think Angel just, my daughter-in-law, just got me to, because I was like, I gotta call this something. And she said, soul, Sunday soul, something. And I went, oh, Sunday soul talks. I think that sounds good. Sunday soul talks. Excuse me. That came from the depths. I'm in Maine, so apparently I got a cold when I come to Maine. It's not a full-blown cold. I don't know what the hell it is. But, so when I say soul talks, kind of want to talk about who you really are. Not that voice in your head that's constantly judging life as good, bad, right, wrong. It's constant. When it's judging and you're attached to it and you're believing it, believing everything it says, that's what keeps you from your soul, keeps you superficial in the head. When you're identified with what's going on in your head, it is a incessant commentary on life, on what's good and bad, or right or wrong. And as who you are watches that good and bad, right and wrong happen. You can watch those thoughts. If you can watch those thoughts, are you them? Because as you start with those thoughts, as you start believing those thoughts, say there's something that happens and there's an automatic, I don't like this, or I do like this, whatever. Most of the time it's fighting life. So as it's fighting life and judging that somebody else is wrong, or I did it wrong, there's a reaction in the body, which is what we call emotions. There's a thought first, and then there's emotions. And when you believe those thoughts, any one of them, even the one that you are what you say and do, it's painful. It hurts. Because the bottom line to that thought stream is the me, and I'm not enough. I'm going to cough. No, maybe not. The thought was, I'm going to cough through this whole thing. That's what was going to be said. And then, doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. Anyway, that commentary is going on in my head right now. It sees that there's nobody here 4 minutes after 9. So it's starting to say, why are you even doing this? Nobody cares about this. Nobody wants to come to terms. Nobody wants to realize that they're not these thoughts. And everybody's comfortable being their miserable self until something happens that's good. That's the commentary going on right now. And none of that is who I am. Imagine watching that. None of that is who I am. And it doesn't matter who listens. I'm basically talking to myself. Whenever you're in a situation and say you're talking with your spouse and it gets heated, that heating is because you're fighting to be right. Can you let yourself be wrong? Ooh, that ego does not like to be wrong. Ever. You can see it. Even if you don't really know something, if somebody asks you something, I see it making up shit. But it's not who I am. Makes up shit to be right. All because of a belief that I'm wrong. The deep, deep belief that I'm wrong. And it starts as a baby. I'm watching my grandson. He is going to be 2 in July 4th. And he's, toddling around, naming everything. He's so stinking cute, but little things piss him off. It shouldn't be, and everybody's trying to please him. It's funny how a 1-year-old can rule the roost. But then when an older person gets upset and angry, you banish them from your life. You hold up these walls. You're doing it wrong. You. Hi, Michelle. Oh my gosh, Michelle, I am so happy for you. I read that this morning, what you're going to be doing. Woo! I don't know. I didn't know if you got let go or what. I didn't say anything on that post. But starting your new adventure sounds amazing. And I love your interviews. They're so awesome. You are like another me. It's so weird that we have the same, everything that you say is exactly, because normally our, like any other spiritual teacher, I don't like to call myself a spiritual teacher. I'm just sharing what I've come to see in life, which is a far cry from what it used to be. Yes, let go. Ooh, that's one of the best. When my husband was let go, well, he walked out because it just wasn't, he had a long-term job and he just walked out. And I happened to meet him. I didn't know that this was happening. I mean, I had a feeling it was coming. Good morning, Marty. He, when I met him on the street, I was driving, coming out of a road and he was coming in. He was bawling, which was awesome. And I said to him, he had us, the thoughts were that we were going to be on the streets because he didn't have that job anymore. I'm like, don't believe those thoughts. What if it wasn't possible to believe those thoughts? What if you could take that like Michelle is and use it to empower you for what's next? Stay open to what's next. Being excited for what's next. Because you don't know. You can't know what the next minute's going to be. What if instead of you believing your mind that it's going to be horrible what's next, what if it's not? And it's the best thing that ever happened. Most of the time, after the scamming thing, and And I realized that $30,000 was not coming back. Oh my God. The sheer shame and oh my God, it was so I believed all those thoughts, all those beliefs of I did it wrong. Something's wrong with me. How stupid can you be? All of that. Stupid is one of the deepest. That not being good enough and then I'm stupid is in there. Is in every single human being's ego mind is I'm stupid and there's something wrong with me. And because you believe that is what makes you react in life. It makes you fight against it because it's a deep belief deep inside, but so you come out having to be right. And that arrogance is all ego. It is not who you are. And you're not stupid. I mean, and I could tell you that till the cows come home, but you have to find out that for yourself. You have to see that there's a belief in there. I'm stupid. I can do it wrong. That's the biggest one because I see with my 5-year-olds. They're already trying to please other people because they believe they can. Because the adults get angry and they don't know how to deal. They're just trying to survive because it hurts when somebody yells at them. And so, Michelle, these challenges, I love that you're taking it ahead. Just when you come at a challenge, not believing the thoughts of, I can do it wrong, or the universe is out to get me. That's another thing. Byron Katie taught us, the universe is not out to get you. It is for you. It's not against you. It is for you. Everything that happens, mind disasterizes it, but it's for you in every single way. She says it's always, the universe is for you in all ways. Okay, so I can't recall that. Yes, let go. Yes, let go and let life do it. Imagine the feeling, let life do it. Without resistance, without fighting, just take a breath. The near-death experience people, I just listened to one last night where she was saying she couldn't breathe. So, of course, there's major panic in the body when you can't breathe. And it's frantic, which makes it worse. And then she saw that it wasn't making it any better. So she just let go. Surrender to the moment. It is what it is. We think that if we're not in control, if we're not doing it right, we have to control life or we're doomed. Something bad's gonna happen. What if nothing bad ever happens? But nothing good ever happens either. It's just a happening. And it's the mind. It's that thought process that labels good, bad. Any label is not what you are. When we label kids as ADHD or whatever we label kids as, they live up to that. They have that parameter on them. Trying to fight it. I was labeled, I don't even remember it now. I was labeled, manic depressive. What is that? There's a label for that. And my mind, somebody said it about me, and my mind grabbed a hold of it as a belief. So for years, there was a fighting against that. Am I bipolar? Am I bipolar? That's a freaking label for someone. Are they that? Well, the label woman, the label Republican or Democrat, none of those labels are who we are at all. He's a Republican, he's not, or he's a Democrat, he's a piece of shit. Oh, only in your mind, because you've labeled him that. Does not define a person. A label does not define a person. Nope. Unless they believe it. If you believe it, then you're gonna suffer. Every single label hurts because we're not that. We're so much more. That's why I was thinking about calling this, because Angel and I were talking this morning. Sunday Soul Talks. How's that sound? Because I've been watching the thoughts of I gotta have something. Something easy. Sunday Soul Talks. Sounds okay. Preliminarily, it's early. Maybe that is it. Sunday Soul Talks. I like that. Because it's basically, I'm just sharing what I've come to see. Sunday Soul Talk. Yeah. Has a little ring to it. Because Oprah used to have Super Soul Sunday. And when Angel said that, I was like, ooh, it's awful close to that. But because her Super Soul Sunday was something I really listened to every Sunday. Because she was a big part of when people say horrible things about her, I don't believe. You know what? People say things, their beliefs. You don't have to believe any of them. And when you label, like, say, Oprah as a bad person, what Byron Katie would say, can you absolutely know that she's doing bad things? You cannot make me believe that. I didn't believe it about Michael Jackson either. Still don't. And watching that thing about his life in the play that I went to, my sister-in-law last month, we are the people in that standing up. We know he went through hell as a child, his father beating him and he not being able to be himself. The only place he felt like himself probably was on the stage, because nobody could tell him any better. He could do it any better. He did himself. He was his own detriment because his mind was saying it's not good enough. That's why he was so hard on his people and himself, because he wasn't good enough. I'm telling you, if you watch any documentary on any famous person, what took them down, what made them have to take drugs, is to drown out the thoughts of, I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. When all you got to do is literally sit with yourself quietly. Let them come up. After the scamming thing, what came up was, I have to move. I have to make money in order to be worthy. And I have to move or my body's going to go to shit if I don't move. I sat on the couch for 6 months, dragged myself from the bed to the couch. And when Peter would go for a parts run, he would stop and get me. So we would go that was my outing for the day, just to get me out of that mindset. Was miserable, but I felt it all as they came up, the beliefs of something's wrong with me. I can do it wrong and I should be doing something else. No, you should be doing anything. That word should just, it's the worst. Your mind is the worst, but you can't hate it. That little voice in the head, it's just telling you, it's trying to protect you. He just wants you to be safe. When in reality, it doesn't matter. There is no safety, no matter what. No matter what. Look at Helene, that hurricane that came up last October, came up the east. It came into Florida, north of us, and then went back in and devastated North Carolina. How do you know, there's always going to be something. It's how you react to that something is how miserable you are inside. After Ian, it was devastation everywhere in our area. For some reason, Peter's and my place did not get affected one bit. We didn't have power for a week, but we were in Maine in like the ice storm. And that wasn't even a disaster. When we were in Maine, the ice storm, we didn't have power for, I don't know how long, in the middle of January. But we had our wood stove. And down here, down in Florida, the hurricane, it was no big deal. We seriously, it wasn't a hardship. I cannot say it was a hardship at all. Just dealt with it. It wasn't horrible. Hi, Phoebes. What do you think about Sunday Soul Talk, Phoebes? I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. Sunday Soul Talks. Anyway, we were watching something on TV. Oh, did you guys hear about, okay, there's a big football, Deion Sanders is a famous football player, and his son is up for being, the draft pick was this past 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And this guy had all his friends and family on, in a room, decorated it with legendary, all the accolades. Everybody was waiting for him to be one of the first picks. He literally was not picked for any starting quarterback at all. The third day, the Browns got him, which basically plunged him from making maybe $40 million down to $4 million. He went in there cocky, showing his bling bling and all this, and oh my goodness, talk about an ego hit in the most. We're talking, that's all the sportscasters were talking about. I wouldn't know any of this if I wasn't here with my son, because he was all about it. But that's all everybody's talking about, how, talk about an ego. So I had the thought, what if his father, because his father's realizing what he's created in him, being better than everybody else and cocky and all, arrogance. That's the ego. So this is a major humility pill he has to swallow. Just like I did when I knew I was right and everybody tried to warn me about that scam. I knew I was right. I had to, when I realized everybody was right and I was wrong, talk about humility pill. I'm telling you, boy. And I had to go apologize to everybody with my tail between my legs. But my tail wasn't between my legs. I was facing it head on, saying, I am sorry. And thank you. My brother-in-law he was going to give me more money without a question asked. And my sister's like, absolutely not. And I was so mad at her. So the thoughts were, what a bitch. Oh my God, it was awful. And then to go down there and say, I'm so thankful that you said no. Oh, so thankful. She had my back. Everybody did. And that's another thing that happened during that scam thing. After it was over, sitting on that couch, so steeped in pain and suffering, believing those thoughts of I'm no good, I frigged up. There's something wrong with how stupid could I be? All of that. It just, the pain and suffering had to be felt. It had to be genuinely as the thoughts came up, had to be felt in this body, because normally we're fighting it. We're trying not to feel it. We don't even know what's subconsciously in there. We don't, until somebody says something to you and you react to it. Instead of reacting, especially, I'm telling you, with your spouse, this is the best thing. Say, thank you for telling me, because right there is your moment to go inside and say, what am I thinking and believing about myself? Why am I feeling like I need to defend right now? When we come to understand why we react, or as you feel it and you heal it, you can be with just about anybody. I mean, I think eventually you can be with anybody, because there's no resistance within you. Now, that has not happened here. And I'm not saying that this is an easy thing, but if you want to be free and enjoy your life in a completely different way, instead of fighting and saying they're wrong while three fingers are pointing back at you, or believing the thoughts of how it should be different than it is, that it's a whole different way to live. And realizing that you're not in control. What got me to realize on a deeper level is that I'm not in control is just taking a shower. Being a million miles away in thought, but it's all getting done. The whole routine is getting done without a thought put in it. Who's doing that? Driving. Blinkers go on, turning happens. Well, there's a million thoughts going on. Who's doing that? It's just a fun little game. Another game is, do you feel your big toe? Before I said big toe, where was it? That's a Rupert Spira one. That one blew my mind, because where is it? Before your consciousness, your awareness, after I said big toe went to there, was it even there? That's just a fun little non-duality thing. Was it there? This dream of separation is so fascinating for the mind. It's reality. There's literally nothing here. Just entertain that thought for a second. There's literally nothing here. Nothing is happening. Because there's only now. Past and future is all in thought. Are you seeing with your eyes? Or is that a door because someone told me that's a door? Is there a door for a baby? Ooh, these are just good questions to sit with. I don't know what made me go here. But wisdom, soul. What the heck? I lost it. I have to go back up through. Sunday Soul Talks. Sunday Soul Talk. I like that. I mean, there has to be, when I say these things, it's got to be like, wow, It's got to make your mind go, that's the best. Just asking the questions, finding out for yourself, spending time by yourself. Oh my God, sitting by the water here, or listening to the peepers. Holy, it is deafening. It is so loud. I've wanted to be here this time of year since we left Maine 5.5 years ago. Literally, I've wanted to, because Taylor and Angel bought this house in 2020, just after we left. We left in 2019. But they were talking about, they were having their, when they bought this house with the water, the peepers have been, I've heard it on Snapchat, but not in real life. The vibration in your in the ears. Oh my God. Plus they have owls back in I saw an owl go right inside the tree outside their deck from the couch. A freaking big owl. I think it's a barred owl. Very cool. So, I don't know. Don't know if there's any more. There was something that happened, was it yesterday, the day before? Peter was trying to figure out something, and he's asking me all these questions. And finally Taylor pipes in and says something like, he's yelling at me, "Don't worry about it, Mom." And there was an automatic shrinking. The thing is, I wasn't worried about it. Peter was the one worried about it, but it looked like, because I was answering his questions. And there was that automatic shrink, and then I could see the blame going to Peter and Taylor. Just took a breath, came back to here, no blame. No blame anywhere. It's just what happened. And I didn't need to defend anything. That's how it can change your relationships, because you don't have to hold on to, they did this to me, I'm a victim of them. Those thoughts cause so much I don't even know. It causes so much fog, so much false reality. It's a false reality because you're fighting against someone you don't need to fight against. You don't need to hold anything against anybody. But if you are, you know you're in your head, because that person is literally here to wake you up. Whoever you've banished from your life or fighting against, and when the thought of them comes up and there's instant, you're hurting you. Make no mistake. When you are holding something against anyone, you're hurting you. Your heart is behind the wall. Nobody's doing anything to you. And if there is discontent or whatever in the situation, look at yourself. Don't look at the other person. Look at yourself and ask, why is it like this? What about me? What is it? Show me. Show me. Show me what I'm thinking and believing that's not true. It's making me miserable and blaming the other person. If you want to be free in this lifetime, that's all you got to do. The ego that ego mind needs to be right. No, they are horrible. That's a horrible person. No one is a horrible person. No one. Hi, Cynthia. Can you imagine everybody that you're holding a grievance against is not a horrible person? Imagine how the other people are saying, good friends with this person. It's only because you're believing your thoughts about this person that aren't true. Hi, Leisha. They're not true. No one, absolutely no one is a horrible person. They're not toxic. I saw that on Facebook the other day. It's like, I've gotten beyond toxic people. There is no toxic people. People are who they are, and they're exactly what you need them to be. If you're fighting against them, you're fighting against yourself. Seriously, you're fighting against yourself. And when you open to this, because they are the same love you are. If they're acting some way you don't like or whatever, is not society's way of acting, what we've come to believe is acceptable or not. If they're if it doesn't look acceptable, are they just looking to be loved? Are they just looking for love? Every single person doesn't believe that they are the love they're looking for out there. We're all looking for it in another person, but that's not how it works. Love, you will never get love from another person. Never. It's an inside job. As you love you, then you love everybody else. And if you don't, if you go back in your mind and are fighting, it should be different than it is right now. Should it? Or is it perfection for you? It is absolute perfection at any given moment. It is so much perfection, life, that no mind could create the perfection that it is. The tapestry of the no grain of sand is out of place. I'm telling you, not a grain of sand. Everything is exactly the way it's meant to be for your awakening. Will you fight it the rest of your life, or will you accept what is and move on? Enjoy in yourself. That seems like a great way to end this. Enjoy in yourself. Imagine that. Literally, it's you believing a thought that somebody else is doing it wrong that takes away your joy. It literally takes away your joy, gets you in your head and muddling all those thoughts of, patterns of thought of they did it wrong. It should be a different way than it is. When Christina and I were leaving for our trip, I say, and Cynthia knows it's never the end when I say it's going to be the end. We were going for our trip and our drive up north. And I mean, we were supposed to leave between 7 and 8. And then the 8 o'clock came, and then I ended up doing my talk at 9 o'clock. And then when she came to pick me up, was it 11 or so? I could see the thoughts. Oh my God, we are not gonna, because we had a 9-hour drive. And I didn't want to drive in the dark. The mind decided it didn't want to drive in the dark. There's nothing wrong with driving in the dark. But there was something it was hanging on to being wrong. And then we get in the car and it says, she goes, I got to bring this cake to Phoebe. What? Even more time out of the way. And I went, she told me what it was. It was a pumpkin cake. I went, why can't we have that? So we drove over and gave it to Phoebe and then left. I don't think we left North Fort Myers until, was it 11:30 or something like that? But it didn't make a difference. It literally didn't make a difference. We got there in time. Georgia had a beautiful hotel for us both nights. He made all the provisions. The gas. I love that man. Even though it looks to the others as he's the perpetrator and she's the victim. I have not ever held that stance. It takes two, and they are either going to wake up or not, or just keep fighting. We'll see. I'm sending them both love because I love both of them very much. All right, I'm all done now. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for just entertaining this, for just having your mind open a little bit to entertain this thought because you want a different, you're tired of the old way and you just want to come back to the love that you are. I wish that for every single human being. Mwah! Thank you. See you next Sunday from home.